Greetings, everyone. This is Joanna from Heavenly Radiance and Universal Love and Light Wisdom. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I've been meaning to do this for a while, and as my time permits, I'm wanting to create regular Ascension offerings that are intimate and intimate for me because it's my unique individual sharing of who I am as a Christed, awakened human. When we say Christed, it's connected with the Christ consciousness energies that we are all connected and offered through our awakening and enlightenment process that activates the cells, our DNA, our entire multidimensional existence is affected by that of the Christic vibration, held also within our crystalline grids, within our planet that we have access to. You can see all the little birdies in life that will be flying in and out. I've had animals all around now that the sun is starting to come out. I placed little feeders for them all over the property. And this intimacy is important for me because it allows me to share who I am and who I've been in all of the lifetimes that I've served in honor and in reverence and in respect to love. To the sacredness of love, to the sacredness of the divine creators, the mother and the father. And much of my awakenings is the experiences that I've had in remembering the profundity of, as the chimes outside just started chiming as I just said that, the profundity of who we are as spirit within human form. And how this is a pivotal lifetime for each and every one of us to come forward in our own unique ways and to awaken the sleepiness that is Source Creator within us, the Holy Mother, the Holy Father, harmonized as one, as a balanced human, multidimensional balanced human, which is what we offer often in our teachings and in our social platforms and in our articles and our books. I probably will be writing many more books because this past year has just been profoundly deepening for me, deepening my compassion level for who we are as spirit and how we always are allowing ourselves that human spirit evolution to reach higher and wider, regardless of how challenging we tend to create for ourselves, that we have that innate spirit that is never squashed, never put out, that is the eternal light of source within us. And as we live in that balanced state of intimacy with who we are as spirit, us with source, the holy creators, creation, Gaia, all life, all wildlife, all nature, all life, creation is all life. As we live within intimacy and authentic communion with that, and we say communion in the words that we say, they're the words that we have. However, we always offer that we use these in the most expansive, universal, omnipresent, energetic formation. We've often offered in all of our radio shows throughout the many years of our teachings and our books that the words we use are to be used in the most expansive, Christic, vibrational manner, not to be placed under any one doctrine or dogma that limits its vibrational meaning and intention. And so just know that when we speak of certain words and when we offer certain words, they're oftentimes the words that we have to allow ourselves the perspective for us to understand the story vibrationally of what we're being offered through the multidimensional channels that I allow to come through me. And so the heavenly councils, the councils of light, the Melchizedek brotherhoods and sisterhoods of light, the Christ collective, the Christ consciousness at all levels of creation within this galactic, planetary, universal ascension, as well as the Elohim and the creator gods, Gaia consciousness, the pixies, the fairies, the Elohim. I mean, all of these energies are within the light programs. The light programs are that which in this particular planetary ascension offer that Christic consciousness energies, which are the universal energies that allow us to expand into the infinite, into the eternal in a multidimensional manner. That is the Christic vibration held within our DNA, the water body, all that we are. All that is. So it's an entanglement of love and light. That's what the Christ consciousness is. It's that vibrational energy of multidimensional potentiality that we each and all are. operating and entangling and co-creating and manifesting and shifting all that we are within that understanding of how vast and wide we are. The awakening process is that of that heart's ignition to seek that there is more farther, wider, richer landscapes and dawnings for us to co-create within as expanded creative souls. So what we often offer in our particular perspective is that we use words in a higher vibrational manner, creating new words, creating new meanings for words that have that vibrational infusion of pure love, that holiness of love. So when we say holy, for me, holy means the vibration of the most pure and authentic heavenly vibration that is unconditional. Unconditional love in every facet of its imagining, for it is source. And so that is what is meant by holy. And each and every one of us are that within the particles of all that we are, have that offering within us, that we have the potential, if we so desire through free will, to activate the particles, the atoms within us, the Christic DNA, through the water body, and begin harmonizing with our reality in new ways and co-creating in new ways, which shift the perspective of who we are. Because remember, as we perceive something anew, that's what awakening does. It allows you to seek and answer questions so that you perceive in a new way. As you perceive in a new way, your reality starts to mold and conjure around whatever your perceptions are, whatever your beliefs are, your core vibration is. So as you shift your beliefs through your own inner seeking, your own inner knowing, that core vibration changes because you begin to get excited about exploring. You begin to see yourself and feel yourself in different ways, and imagine yourself in different ways, and dream yourself in different ways. That ignites that passion, that creative passion, that Christic passion within you. For within the Christic vibration is our ability to expand and explore who we are as creative beings of light, beyond what has ever been given and offered. And this is why evolution is in such a very profound pivotal point right now within humanity, is because so many people are awakening to this this concept of creativity and inner passion. That inner passion is the soul's desire, innately awoken through the higher self and the soul, divine timing. Oftentimes we're given so many triggers that we and cues and synchronicities that we don't listen, and we're not attuned because we're living in the vibration of what was, that kind of merry-go-round cycle of 3D living. Which is very turned off to spirit, is turned off to who we are as multidimensional beings. And therefore the cues and the synchronicities oftentimes go missed because we're not setting forth those daily practices and reflections and dream reflections that are those portals to opening into who we are as divine beings. And that's awakening process assists us to be inspired and excited and creative again and passionate again about inner seeking, inner reflection, inner balancing of all that we are multidimensionally. And as we do so, we then begin to see very blatantly that we are absolutely the masters of our reality, and we're co-creating everything with Source Creator, with the universe. And omniverse, because I've had experiences where there were beings in consciousness that were not from this universe, and crisscrossing universal energies and ties as we expand and as we open into who we are is always a potentiality. So it is truly infinite in what we offer. It's an infinite vibration for those who so desire to open up their divine sacred heart, their oneness with Source Creator, the Holy Mother Father, their sacred altar, their sacredness of who they are. And the sacred vibration, as we've often offered, is that vibration of your purity and in oneness with love, as love. As you awaken more fully into this idea and concept of love, not from the old world perspectives, but from an entirely brand new crisp that's never been seen or felt by you before, that love and sacredness in your unique journey, your unique path, is something that's quite profound, and you're writing it as you breathe. And it's new, and it's vibrant, and it's beautiful, and it's caressing your soul's excitement to be new. And that newness is evolution. Each and every time someone awakens, evolution occurs. Every moment evolution occurs. The birds and the bees, everything that is occurring in any one moment is evolving. The consciousness of our planet is being offered energies to assist us and to prompt us and to usher us to awaken. That awakening comes in a myriad of different ways and different levels, of experience, because we're multidimensional beings at various levels of co-creation. And so what we need one day is not what we'll need the next day, because there's integration time, there's processing time, there's reflection time, there's healing time when you release. And you're healing those aspects of old, dense, controlled, fearful energy that are no longer required. And why I've gone through the path that I have to have that that vast ability, um, to to present, the various ways that we can rely and tap into spirit to move through such challenges, to know that regardless of how challenging um, and traumatic some of them are, to know that there is that light within you that will always guide you through, and you have myriad of angels and beings, that guide you through, your challenges in your everyday. Um, and so allow yourself to just surrender into the infinite assistance and help that you have as spirit, to surrender joyfully and excitedly to this portal of beauty that exists within you, that is constantly ushering you into greater platforms of play that are all vibrational in the co-creation. You co-create at so many different levels, the subconscious level, the higher conscious level, your soul's level, your human spirit personality level. We're co-creating at a myriad of levels, and it's an infinite, it's an infinity, movement that your soul and your heart are now awakening to in harmony. And what I mean by that is that those that are no longer satisfied, which is what happened to me many years ago, no longer satisfied with the 3D world that I was living in, I began my vast deep awakenings. And it started with dreams, really, really dark, really dark dreams. And they were inspiring me to go within and seek the understanding and the reason for these dreams. That reflection time is so important. I didn't know it back then, but I do now. And so these dreams were part of my process. And just, being a new mom at the time, it was quite a challenge for me to go through what I was going through, and the memories and the releases and the soul fragment healings that I now know to be true. And it's harmonizing all that I am as a soul, all the fragments of me on all timelines, to come together in this now moment. And why, when we awaken, we get to set those new intentions on who we choose to be and how we choose to move about life in a much more heartfelt way, because the heart is awakening. The heart desires to live more fully and more freely and more richly. And that was my biggest, excitement, was that I could no longer hide what was occurring to me. And there were so many synchronicities and so many things occurring that I could no longer write it off. Even though I didn't necessarily tune into the ideals and the perceptions of what others thought synchronicity was, I knew there was much more delicate and entangled, elegant design to those occurrences. I just always known that. And much of what I had turned off when I was a child, my elegant communication with spirit and with the land and with nature, was something that can't be put into words, and it's awakening in me now, so that I get that second childhood now, because I've healed so much, and my heart is now aching for a deeper entanglement with my soul. And so I call my soul forward, and it's a beautiful communion that now that I understand all of me, so that I'm harmonizing through all of the healing processes and opening into this richness of this now moment. You allow yourself to live within the richness that is source at all moments, and to be that open vessel and allow it to be so. And for most of my life, I was, always putting up boundaries and borders, and, not allowing too many people to get close to me, just because of all the, the hurts and the pains that vibrationally I could feel. And after my awakening, I began to see the visions, my third eye, my inner eye, and all of my gifts and skills began to activate, so that more and more and more I could feel the other timelines through which things were happening in this concurrent now moment. So it really put up a lot of blocks for me to figure out, well, how do I manage in this now moment? With my feet on the ground, and a family and kids, and do so in a way that is exciting and honoring for me and who my soul is, to bring that soul forward and say, okay, and let's heal and let's be one, that we're here for a reason, and let's truly begin to live. Um, and so the awakening process allows us to really truly feel, sense, see, experience that rich depth of who we are as spirit. We get to feel ourselves with mother father, that mother father frequency that is, and I've said in my books and I've offered in as many radio shows, and as often as I can, the gratitude and the reverence and the integrity, um, that I can muster as a human to bring forward the vibration of what I've felt and what I've known to be true about source creator, um, the blessed sacredness that we are as source, as love, and how when not in alignment and being ruled by fear and greed and control energies, allow us to experience the whole spectrum of what we're able to experience, but that we don't have to. It's allowing us to release what doesn't require, um, and it's a lot of releasing and a lot of letting go of programs and patterns and lineage imprints and DNA imprints and societal imprints. And there's so many things that we're bombarded with that take us from that wholeness and sacredness and pure sacred love, that reverence of pure sacred love. And everyone's experience is different and unique and beautiful, and it's supposed to be that way. That's evolution. That's the color and the richness and the texture, um, the textured beauty that is evolution, that is creation. And so what humanity at a collective level, and what each and every one of us are here to, to begin to paint, is that the acceptance of oneself in all that we are as a whole soul, and why we go through the Akashic and the timeline healing, why we go through our human healing, so that we can begin to open ourselves up to acceptance on all levels to everyone within our human collective. Whether they're in our, soul tribe ascension family or not, we're here to open as that unconditional source, beautiful, deep and rich, unconditional holy love. And when you begin to feel those energies, and when you begin to tap into those energies of what is sacredness, you open yourself up for a day and really intend to go within and feel sacred at every multidimensional level. You'll see yourself and feel yourself and see your reality shift very quickly, especially in these accelerated energies. You'll allow spirit and your teams and your souls to start beginning weaving your intentions with the universal experience that you're moving within. And you'll have recognition dreams, you'll have remembrance dreams, you'll have those moments of, one foot in one world and one foot in another vibrational reality, so that you can prove to yourself, because oftentimes that's what needed. We say prove with the lightest of energies, because it's not really what it is. But there will be those times where, because we've been so ego driven, we've been so ego managed, that to surrender the ego to the spirit and the soul, so that the physical human experience can say, wow, I'm really doing this. And that's what we mean by prove. It doesn't mean anything. In some experiences that many light workers experience and face and move through and master, is the proving that oftentimes we have to transcend and work with as others are moving through their paths and not necessarily on the path of awakening. And there are those moments as light workers and teachers and healers that we oftentimes and many times, at some point we oftentimes do give up, because others around us, for the ridicule or for whatever reasons, are not on that same vibrational wavelength. And until we begin to open and understand and realize what's really going on, it can be light workers, especially in all arenas and all timelines, have faced, not only self-deprecation, lack of self-worth, because the support and the tribe energies were not necessarily there, but many times persecutions, death, and unwarranted, persecutions. So many deep traumatic energies that I've remembered, just in living my communion with spirit, and having to transcend them in this now lifetime, so that I can be the whole person that I choose to be, and explore myself and express myself as the Christic child that I am, and to express it freely and fearlessly. And that's what I meant at the very beginning by intimate, because it's an intimate journey. It's an intimate journey for me to be where I am right now, and to move through everything that I've moved through, to come forward and say that there are so many twists and turns, and there are so many delightful enjoyable, profound, mind-boggling experiences that, one can have with source, as source, and it's a deepening journey that we honor within ourselves first. Like, we need to honor who we are as beautiful, rich beings of holy light. As we do so, as the more that we honor this richness of who we are, of what we are, what we're experiencing, what our soul has really come forward to move and co-create with the rest of humanity and the rest of creation, we begin to then allow ourselves that richness of, wow, this is far more than I ever could have imagined. And that's what I've said oftentimes when I reach these after the traversing of the density and the releasing of all the limitations and the fears and the so many healings that I've moved through. And then to get to that peak of, you get that, you've brought everything in to be healed and to be loved and to be honored. And you accept yourself at this new vibrant level of, wow, can I really, this is really happening, like these energies and these downloads and these memories, and I can really offer what I can to humanity in a beautiful way, and know that my intimate sharing matters, and it's adding to the richness of humanity. And so many light workers have dimmed their light, to fit in, or not shared, because of those fears. And we all have to work through them, because we can't get to that fifth dimensional, co-creative reality if we're carrying so much fear and trepidation about who we are. It's our birthright. And so this morning in my my meditation, I was offering to myself and my higher teams and my soul, is that it's my birthright to live purely in love. It's my birthright to experience that. It's my birthright to explore it. It's my birthright to express it. It's my birthright to now live in the beauty of what I've moved through, and to claim it and to own it in a way that's intimate with me and authentic with me. And each and every person's journey is going to be uniquely intimate and authentic with source. And source will have that beautiful, intimate play of beauty. Some will speak with animals, and some will speak with Gaia, and some will speak with the waters and the air and other beings from other consciousness energies, that we can all co-create this beautiful new earth that is in the vibrational foundation of love and oneness. That's why we're each here. We're each here to add to the oneness through our own healing of our oneness, through our own healing of who we are intimately in oneness. And so it's kind of a long introduction, but it's needed, that honor, because this past year and a half and the 15 years that I've been on Awakening, it's meant many things, and the journey has been, so diverse and so beautiful and challenging. And for those awakening, to know that, each and every journey is unique unto itself, and not one person's journey will be like another's. It's not meant to, and so take the information and be discerning about what you're entangling with, because your role in your path with Source Creator and with Gaia and with creation, with your human family, is unique unto you. And so anything that you desire to experience and co-create within who you are as a soul will be always your driving force, regardless of what any other offering is within creation. And that's how you build that sense of self within who you are, and not to be constantly thrown into that pool of, whose is right and whose is not. Because there are so many teachers that you'll gain on your path, and it's who you connect with vibrationally for that part of your journey. We do offer the Christic vibration in our offerings, which means that there's many multidimensional energies that go into what we say with the teams and the heavenly councils and the beings that we're connecting with. And of course, your soul and your energies teams are also working with you as we co-create and as we commune. Our intentions today, dear elated ones, that we wanted to come forward and thank you for allowing me to introduce the richness of my journey, and for it to be an intimate offering from my soul to yours, as a human being, as a spirited human being. And today, inspired to one of my highest excitements, not only the intimacy, because intimacy is directly related for me as to the depths and the richness that is source, that is love, that we are. And there is great depth and richness to being an awakened human, because the depth and the richness that each of us explore, expand, push the boundaries, push the borders, open the doors, raise the roof, in any way that we reach up and explore who we are as dynamic, unconditional, loving, infinite, eternal beings of holy light in human form, then we're going to be offered those energies in return. And so that comes from that pure heart, not for any other reason. And this is why that inner work and that inner reflection time and that inner intimate time with Source Creator is so important, because there'll be those moments through which that ego will desire its time, in this game. And it's always there as an observer in your intimate soul work. And it's there to assist you in manifestation, but it is not the driver of your soul's communion with creation. That's that spirit, soul, heartfelt. That's to be taken at the heart level, because you'll feel the difference when you're not in alignment with your full soulful integrity. You'll feel it, and you'll experience those repercussions because they come back really quick. Just saying. If you're not within that full heart integrity of who you are as a soul and why you're doing what you're doing, and really living it from your soul's essence, your integrity, your reverence for spirit, your reverence for life, your reverence for who you are as a sacred soul. And this is why we've offered this for so many years. Really muse about what it means to be sacred, because you'll continue those lessons until that is learned, because the ego is no longer the driver. And that is what is leaving 3D, 4D into 5D. Because 5D, the ego is not the driver. And what we've experienced throughout all of human lifetimes, that we're healing now, that we're bringing into reunification, is the soulful spirit is living sacredly. That's living as that Christic being, to know that the ego is a part of the manifestations. The ego is a part of our human experience. So far, there will be a point where we're completely embodied as spirit and souls in human form, but we'll be completely and utterly living from the heart space. And this heart space has ego harmonized within it to such a point where it's living from that higher self perspective, where it's not about what can I gain for me? How can I gain things for me? It's the greater good, because that's the divine, sacred, reverent journey, and one gains that through experience. And it takes practice, because we've been egoized for eons, and those are the imprints that are on our DNA, every cellular level, multidimensional level, societal level, that we're here healing in every way. Make no mistake about it. We can't get beyond that. Those that are on the journey of awakening know that it's not for the faint of heart, because we need to release and strip away everything that has kept us in limitation, greed, subjugation, and all the things that we're here to heal for our human oneness. And we need to strip away that the ego identifications, the processes, and it's even things that I thought I dealt with years ago, I'm dealing with, and I'm saying, I didn't realize this doesn't feel like me, but it is you. It's that aspect of you that was so deep with that energy, that it was suppressed and depressed underneath a myriad of human experience, injuries and traumas and lifetimes. And as that soul fragment is ready to come on and be harmonized now, because you're awake and ready to give it that love and that care and that honor, that comes on board to be loved by you. Okay, it's all a synchronistic movement. As you awaken in the love and the depth and the richness and the reverence and the honor, you're going to call in that deeper soul image of you, that personality of you that really requires that depth of love and understanding and honor. It's a divine, elegant system. There's no arbitrary, the higher self knows, the soul knows what's ready to come on and be healed. There's divine timing and planning within it all. You have the skills and the gifts and the love and the support and the teams. I mean, there's nothing that we don't have that can assist us to move through whatever challenges that we think are so deep and traumatic. I'm offering this from my own personal experience, because I can see and feel what's going on. And this is why that I was brought forward in my soul's excitement to serve, so that I can use the gifts that I've gained over many eons of lifetimes on and off planet and come forward. And now that I have the depths of wisdom and knowledge that I do, and the expansiveness of what I do healing wise, the depths of what I've healed as a human, on and off world energies, because I can feel those too, and explain it in a way that can assist others in their healing process. They perhaps might not feel it in the way that I do vibrationally, but it allows for that explanation so that we can all relax and understand that we are so vast and wide in our diverse alignment of who we are with source, that there will always be that help and that assistance and that vibrational healing for us. And so that's why I say what I say and offer what I offer. um, and so the intention is really important, to entangle and to live richly and deeply as that emotional, loving, beautiful, engaged, mentally intelligent, vibrationally vast and Christic expansive and holy and pure vibrational human, is that intention of where your heart and soul are vibrating at. So if it's still vibrating in so much that needs to be healed, then the intention can be, I'm really excited to heal who I am because I know I've got lots of stuff that I'm going to create here. And, I really honor the healing because it's telling me that I've lived that rich life, and that rich life, once it's healed and harmonized, I can add to the gifts and the skills and the wholeness of all that I am. And I can offer it to the all for the greater good. And essentially that's what the soul knows. The personality just wants to get through the healing because it doesn't feel good. And that's the ego. The ego says, okay, be done with it. Just rip the Band-Aid off and get over with it. But it does take that processing. It absolutely does. There will be those healings that will be quick and rip the Band-Aid off and it's healed. But most often than not, most often, each and every one of us will have to go through those healings that allow us to go richer and deeper and wider, because it allows us to see how strong and vast and beautiful and strong willed we are, to know that there is that equal light within us, that each of us through those healings expands creation, expands our galaxy, expands the human family, expands all that we are. And so each of us are a player in that. There's obviously those people that come forward with very few lifetimes to heal, but to move into that vibrational fifth dimensional reality, there's healing that we are here to allow for the soul group, the soul family that we've all come with, and those are agreements done at the highest level before we incarnate. And of course, our free will and every choice that we make affects it, because our choices in this now moment affect the path. And why? To live in that conscious awake state, that mindfulness, so that you're creating from this heart space, so that you're always going to be in alignment, per se, with your soul's highest and best destiny, your highest and best plan that you arranged in your highest state of spirited knowingness before you got here. That's always constantly being changed and altered and shifted as you make each choice. I know, because I lived for many, many years in denial of, my gifts and my skills and why I was here. And, oftentimes, it was like spirit just knocking on the door. Are you ready now to own and honor who you are? Are you going to keep denying it? It's your free will. We're still going to love you and we're still going to be here, but there's things to do here. Where are you at? Oh, just give me a moment. I don't know. So, but we go through it, right? It's the human experience, and it's the most profound and unbelievable, amazing journey and ride if we can see past what's always presented in front of us, because what's presented in front of us is that previous moment that we might have been stuck in a state of depression and suppression and anxiety and worry, and stuck with on that treadmill that just keeps going around and around. And, how hard do I have to work to get what I want to get and to feel how I want to feel? That's not fifth dimensional living as far as the vibration of richness and depth of who you are as a being of holy light. You're vast. You come with a DNA that is multi-dimensional and multiverse in its most richest, widest vibration of comprehension. that still we can't comprehend. Our minds just can't wrap around what we truly are, particle for particle, because it's source. There will always be an aspect that will be undefinable. There will always be an aspect of our experience that will be undeniable, that will be inexplicable to the process of 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 understanding. And it's supposed to be that way. That is the richness of the elegance that is source in all things, but can be experienced in the most magical and majestic ways that you cannot deny you're a part of this majesty. It's you just can't. And that's when life really comes to that's what I mean by so rich and deep. You know, seeing all the squirrels and the deers. And what I was given this week, we had an amazing week of honor of the Divine Mother energy, healing many aspects of it, the deep wounds that many have come with. And so we've got those on our store for purchase. There's MP3s and MP4s of the week-long initiation. They were 30-minute classes, each taking a part of invoking each day of energy and each day adding unto the next and unto the previous. And then on day 7, it was a final initiation and baptism, not in the traditional dogmatic sense, and no judgment to any of those processes. I respect them and honor them greatly. But to the ideals of birthing ourselves anew into the womb of what we've created. And so it was really powerful and profound. And I had no idea from day 1 what day 7 would be like. I went into the energies and the channels, each day to say, what is our lesson for today? And so they were really profound, and I'm still processing, kind of what had occurred vibrationally. And we're going to do one each month. Each month we're going to take 7 days because we really found the difference that we felt as ascended masters and teachers and light workers and healers to devote a half an hour to ourselves in a sacred community. And this sacred community, devoting and sharing our devotions with each other and honoring those sacred energies, deeply enriched our energies, a spirit, and refining our purpose, refining our richness, and the experience that comes with it, So we're going to offer one of those each month. So connect with our website. And so the depth and richness is, for me, can be experienced in a multidimensional way, obviously, because we're multidimensional beings. So depth and richness can be what you see, what you can perceive, what you can feel. But for me, it's about emotional harmony. Emotional harmony, it means that you can feel in any one moment that source, spirit, your soul, that life is with you in all moments. And it's a harmonic dance, and it's that moment that you're bringing what you think is finite and you're threading it through the infinite source portal that you are, open with little boundaries and walls and borders. I've felt those too. And that creates, not that there's miscreations, but it doesn't necessarily create the purity of what you're really wanting to create, and we offer those in our classes as well, as how to really get into the field of creation and really start creating from that pure, rich, vast state of who you are as a multidimensional being, to sense it, to feel it, to honor it, to call it in as a sound, to call it in as a color, texture, all of those things that we are now able to co-create with. But the emotional harmony is that allowing yourself to be that full emotional energy of who you are as pure love, and then co-create and allow yourself to move, or just to fluidically be in presence with that harmony. Because most often than not, from my experience and from my practice, that so many people are not emotionally balanced. They're either emotionally cut off and closed, or shut down, or there's so much suppression and depression that they're not understanding or even aware of where to start and where to begin. And then when awakening process does begin, it causes great challenge and frustration and pain, because we're having to clear all of those repressed emotions that were never dealt with, never honored, never processed, because of the third dimensional, energies and realities that we chose to create through separation. And so the richness and the depth of who we are is really when you get through the honoring that, yes, I'm going to create that self-care time daily. I'm going to clear what needs to be cleared, let go of what needs to be let go, and I'm going to honor in what needs to be honored in. And that is that true, that's when you start feeling alchemically that, yes, I'm honoring who I am at a deep level. You know, my voice does matter. The food that I eat matters. You know, the way that we perceive ourselves in a multidimensional perspective is shifting and deepening, and it's becoming ever more rich, and it matters. Um, you know, and sometimes I often get, I often catch myself because I'm so passionate and I get those vibrations of such deep passion, that others perceive that as, kind of very headstrong and very, you know, perhaps tunnels, but it's not at all. It's quite the opposite. It's feeling the vibration of everything that I'm feeling and putting it into words, because it really does matter. It all does, you know. And the more rich and deep we feel about, all that we are, that's how we create, and that's what's really exciting, because I can see and feel it in the field of the all, and how that color lights up, or how that story comes to life in storytelling. And that adds to the depth and the richness of who we are, to bring those sacred energies back from our ancestral, you know, timelines, and awaken them again, to bring in these vibrational stories that affect Gaia, that affect the wildlife, that affect the water, that affect our water, because the water body of Gaia is the water body of our bodies, affects the Christic energies. So it's an entanglement and a dance that everything matters. Everything matters. And the game of separation was for us to be in that perspective that it didn't matter, that us turning ourselves off to ourselves, our emotions, our imbalances, to play the external game, led us into very great deprivation in many areas of our multidimensional experience, vibrationally speaking, on the planet, what we've created on the planet in many ways, degradation in that way, wildlife, neglect, the children's collective, the adult collective, the minority collective. I mean, any perspective that we can bring up, there are imbalances that we're here to heal. But we do so by first turning within when those awakening moments occur, and truly value and honor it for what it's guiding you. That's guiding you to that open portal and that open doorway for your communion and oneness with Source Creator, as Source Creator, to know that you're a rich vessel of infinite change, which is what the Divine Mother had given to me on our last day. And she had said that she had offered of our week-long journey of devotion was that we're infinite vessels of change. We direct it. We direct that change through what we believe to be true, our perspectives about who we are. How do we choose to see this next moment? How do we choose to see this now moment that shifts that next moment? That is the change that we honor. And if we honor it, and if we truly value it at the heart level, then we're always creating in the greatest and the highest good, not to mindfully shut off and just co-create willy-nilly, without conceiving, how does this affect the all? Because it does matter, And that's when you become richly aware and deeply aware that you're valued, that you're treasured, that you are part of the human collective puzzle, that your vibration of voice does matter, that your vibration of creative journey does matter. How you create in this world, how you honor yourself and offer yourself matters in this world. You affect people that cannot see or know you, and you matter. Your vibration matters. Your desires within your heart matter. Your dreams, your explorations, how you express yourself in every way as the experience of Source through human form. It all matters. And it's a rich ride. It's deeply rich. How can we get excited about this? How can we allow one another to come forward and accept all that is through that offering? Whether we agree with it or not, but just to sit there and offer that open heart to understand that you are Source and I'm entangling with you. This is a divine synchronistic moment. You've come before my path, and I honor that. I value you. I hold you in the Most High. That shifts the whole outcome of whatever is going to inspire through that co-creation. as opposed to being in that shut down judgmental mode. You don't see the way I do, so be gone with you. Those are the third world energies that, 3D energies that we're all healing, because it's third world um, idealism that says you don't matter. And that's what we're here to heal. That's where there's so many imbalances, and the words don't even sound right, because we're one. It does matter. It really does matter, you know and I get so passionate about it because it's so beautiful. And there's moments when you're healing that it might not be beautiful and feel beautiful, and it does feel um it doesn't feel vibrationally happy and joyful at times, because those are those moments where you're fully accepting all that you are. And we go through those moments so that we can, anybody that stands before us, regardless of what is occurring, that we accept it as source. We don't have to agree with it or be okay with whatever is unfolding, but that we accept it as our co-creation within all that is a source, and not judge it and damn it and close the door on it, because that's continuing separation. Why we're healing. That separation is coming from within, something within you that needs to be healed, required to be seen and shown vibrationally in a new way for you, so that you can perceive and begin co-creating in new ways that are not of separation. And it takes moment for moment for moment for moment mastery. There won't be an experience where we're not learning and expanding in this way. That's what's so beautiful and rich about it. Because when you think you've mastered a certain level, there is absolutely going to be a whole new level and playing field that you're going to be presented with. And you can free will choose to take it or not. That's always your free will, that Father and Mother, holy creators, will always love you unconditionally regardless. But your soul aches for evolution. It just does. That's the soul. The soul will always bring in more guides. The soul will always bring in more experience. The soul will always bring in more textbooks and intelligence and downloads and memories and dreams. There's an infinite array of experience that you can move within and explore. I really want to explore this. Get in there. Let's pull off the layers of illusion. Let's pull off the layers of what was, seek into the deepest part of you and just honor it. It's you. The more you honor and love all that stuff, regardless of how it might appear, because those are old perspectives, remember, you can choose the perspective of, you know what, I'm going to open, and whatever needs to come forward for healing, I'm going to honor it. It's you. We can't close off or shut the door on any aspect of us. The unity, reunification with spirit is all of us. All of us. And why it is a challenging journey, but it's one that is presented with such beauty and mastery, and it's so deep and rich. And I those moments that that I do feel that richness and that depth of profundity, that aliveness with life, that aliveness with nature, that aliveness with the sacredness and the beauty that is source, and the teams that co-create and connect with me. It's rich. There's no human words that can explain when Mother, Father, and the holy creators and spirit, the universe, God, however we want to explain the creators of all that is elegant design life, the elegant systems of co-creation. There's a myriad and infinite vibrational levels of that experience for that 1 second, for you to experience that and awaken. And it's so deep and it's so rich, and why it's been explained sometimes as the rabbit hole, because you can go down and you will be forever, threading your way through the victory that is creation. And I say victory with the vibration of victory. It's a blessed journey, and it takes you to places and allows you to feel richly and deeply and in harmony. Why we bring that harmony forward now, to say, wow, I just experienced something so profound, and it was so harmonic. It was just like the bliss and the balance and the greatness and the joy and the experience. It's all things. And that's that vibrational richness and depth that each and every human aches for at some point, because the 3D perspective of what we thought made us happy doesn't, because there's vibrations offered on our planet from the universe, from the Mother, Father, Source, everything that's going on inside and without us. They're challenging us to shed what was and begin what is, what has always been as spirit. It's an infinite rich journey. It doesn't have anything to do with, what we thought. It's the inner journey of source. And what is out, as within, so without, as above, so below, where it's this harmonic depth of purity, and only we can experience in our own unique way. The more pure you are with your authentic voice, the more pure you are with your desires and your emotional body, to heal it and to be rich with that healing, to ground that healing, and to allow that healing to occur in a way that truly honors your soul. And what many of us have gone through is addictions and disorders, in any way that it can come about, because they really can. We're multidimensional beings. They can come about in any way, whether it's a mental disorder, imbalance, eating disorder, imbalance, physical disorder and imbalance. It doesn't matter how we define it, because they're all imbalances of who we are truly within. And I've had all of them. I've experienced all of them to varying degrees. And the addictions allow us to stave off, the acknowledgement of who we truly are, and can be scary for those that are so emotionally rich and deep, because it's so overwhelming, and I don't know where to start. But there is always a starting portal that you can ask your teams to bring forward, so that you can build yourself into the depth and the well that you are, especially crystalline children, and as an empath and a visionary. My abilities to sense and to feel and to know are so heightened that to go through anyone healing is a multi-dimensional theme park, really, because it's turned on at that level of experience that many cannot understand. And so it's worthy of us to be one with our teams, and to say, okay, this is what I'm ready for. Bring something that I can handle and work into, because I had put it off for so long. My soul just said, okay, you're getting turned on, and because they knew that I could handle it, and as tough as it was, I did handle it. It was it was a rough ride. But it just showed me how deep and how profound my soul is and my spirit is, to keep those beautiful experiences, in perspective. So just know that there's absolute respect and honor for your journey, regardless of whether you're challenged with an addiction, or with a healing, or any type of ailment, whether it's a physical illness, whether you're being challenged in a conscious way, through lower thought forms and things like that, and fearful thought forms and things. I've experienced them all. So just understand that it's a part of the process that you can awaken to and say, this is where I'm at right now. I own it, I claim it. And this is where I really want to feel. I deserve to feel happy. I deserve to feel in empowerment with my body, and empowerment with my soul, and empowerment with my thoughts. This is my birthright, and you can work yourself into those vibrations. And I've offered videos for that. So check our video, Heavenly Radiance, Shamanic Tarot, and also Universal Unity or Universal Light, to bring in those ideas of, once you've done your clearing, and then to get in that really soulful, powerful solar plexus. Yeah, I can do this. I've got a voice, and I can co-create, and I can create this way. And that's aligning that, bringing that soulful power from within, and really aligning with that. After you're going through your healing, say, okay, well, why did I create that addiction for myself? Why was I embarking, in those energies? And it's usually about lack of self-worth, because of the injuries and the traumas that we've co-created and oftentimes brought with us to heal through the lineage. So there's a myriad of things that each and every one of us go through, and each person's path is unique, and to be honored, really honor, okay, this is where I'm at. I honor where I'm at. Even if it might not feel vibrationally that honor is what you think honor might feel like. But the more that you do it daily, set aside self-care time, because self-care is your honoring time. We give it self-care because it comes in ways of reflection, thinking about reflecting what triggered you, and how you can prepare yourself with the skills you have to create a new experience, responding in a mindful way, as opposed to an egoic, defensive, fearful way. There's vibrational energy shifts that can be taken on and learned and remembered, because you will have it within you. It's just that remembering. But if we're suppressing and blocking things down, it's hard for us to get to that point of, wow, I actually know this, because you've lived it in other lifetimes, and you've been a master and a healer in other many lifetimes. And you know so those are all those honoring moments, that I honor myself as a master. How can I move through what I'm going through right now? And how can I call in support? How can I reach out to those that can help me? How can I honor myself in my voice? Because that's honoring your voice, honoring your emotional needs and your mental needs and your physical needs and your energetic needs. I need a half a day so that I can process this integration I'm going through. I need to get outside. So those are all self-care attributes that help you in that feeling. Wow, I get this now. I am the master of my ship, and I'm going to start creating this way. And it takes practice. There's no guidebook or rule book. We can offer as much as we can, but again, everybody's path is going to be unique, and what works for one person might not work for another. But the multidimensional care is really important, because it allows us to feel joy. Everybody wants a bit of joy, and that joy is intimate, and it's that authentic joy. It's not the joy that comes from, half a tequila bottle. Been there. It's that joy that comes from, wow, I'm one with source. I'm one with this co-creation that's just unfolding before me. And there's no judgment on any type of joy, because joy is joy. But, to truly own it and honor it as the spirit that you are, you get to understand that life can be led without the addictions and without the overindulgence, because the overindulgence is just that need to feel what our body wants to feel. And that's that emotional depth and richness that I was talking about earlier. And as a crystalline child, I understood that many of the experiences that I went throughout my whole awakening was for that fix to feel what I wanted to feel. And I got it from a myriad of different ways, whether it was eating disorders, addictions, physical addiction, going to the gym, 7 days a week, twice a day, whatever it was that I went through, cycles. They were all addictions. It was just different type of addictions, because I wanted to feel what I wanted to feel. And that's that rich Christed energy that, if not balanced, turns up in those imbalances that can be seen and felt in every way. And you feel it. It just doesn't feel balanced and in harmony. And so that's why that self-care allows you to feel, where am I out of balance? And ask yourself, call forward your teams to say, how can I create greater balance for myself? Because the body requires you to listen, your physical body, it requires you to be attuned, to be mindful, what feels good for me today, and to honor it. All the deers are outside waiting for me to give them our food. And that's the depth and the richness that we're all aching for. And when you allow it to be garnered from within, this soulful soul altar that is source, that is you and source, creator as one, your soul coming forward to live with you. It is such a deep and rich dynamic that you won't have any need for anything else. All the other stuff, and all of the other experiences are beautiful and candy, on top of the trick or treat bag. Icing on the cake. Yeah, icing on the cake. I don't eat cake. But anyways, it's that stuff that it's that stuff that just feels really, really good and sweet, and it's all valid. It's all valid. There's no judgment in any of this, because it's the journey. I've experienced it, and I'm at this soulful place where I'm mindful to honor those moments and to truly use that, as Archangel Michael had offered, as my rich path. We've never been through this before in this way. And so how are we to judge and disrespect and dishonor our path in any way? by judging it, by demeaning it, by degrading it, by devaluing it. And why all light workers and their process of coming forward and speaking their truth and sharing their gifts and being the light workers that they are, we all have to go through those moments through which others around us didn't approve or didn't understand, so that we can stand more powerful in our truth and say, we get it, we were there too. And it's okay, there's no judgment, but this is my voice now and I must use it. I must sing, using those sacred sounds and tones. I must write, I must paint, when we get beyond that. But it does take practice, because those are the lessons and those imprints that we're all here to heal. And they're very painful, when others judge us or devalue us or devalue our experiences as not real or inappropriate or not appropriate or, even fantasy, it's very real, to those that are experiencing the multidimensional evolution that is going on within us. It's very real. Our connection with spirit and all the beings that are with us right now in this moment, it's very real for those that are awake to it, and that is what's really rich and deep. And you can own that. I can own who I am. Yeah. It took me a long time to own it, because I was so afraid of what others were thinking and what others were going, because they certainly weren't going through anything that I was going through, and that's okay. But to not place yourself in that continual box of shadow and hiding, just because, that conformity that we're here to break. We're all here to break conformity at every level, subjugation at every level. And it takes us to come forward and be that expressive, divine, intimate being, to be intimate with oneself. Yes, this is who I am, and I will own who I am. I am spirit, and I am source. Source is with me right now in every word that I speak. Yeah, I'm owning it now. And it's not in a way of disregard or disrespect to anybody else, but it's finally in that ownership of, this is who I am. And it's taken so long, and I get it. And it's about self-love, and it's about self-honor. It's about self-care. And it's about, as I do all that, I'm honoring everything that comes before me, and all of creation is forever changed. And that's that intimate balance of all life, in honor and respect of all life, in honor of respect that you are source, I am too. And I want you to speak your truth, just as I'm so excited to speak mine. Let's share, let's commune, let's weave a new pattern of light and love. Let's do this. This is why we're here. Let's weave these crystalline patterns of beautiful experience to creation. Yeah, let's do this. Let's come together. And so before you, I sing my intimate journey, and I allow my soul to be felt and heard in every way that you so desire to awaken and offer it, through the divine and heavenly counsels that are always with us in every moment, that you authentically reach within and say, I'm ready to know who I am today. And just open in thoughtful, mindful prayer and honor who you are. That prayerful moment that you're being authentic with your soul, that you're being authentic with your heart, your creative expression, your exploration, your experience of who you are as source and spirit, in divine and human form. And so celebrate the richness and the depth of who you are, the very vastness and the width that you're able to stretch yourself and co-create, and know that in all moments you're co-creating, you're harmonizing what was into what can be, what was into what can be, what was into what is. I can create anew, I can create anew, I can create anew. And it's a beautiful journey. So let's start celebrating the rich and the depth that we can all go and we can all experience. Because they're just the colorful platforms and the dawnings that we're going to co-create on in our next life, in the next moment, in the next 10 years, 5 years, 2 weeks. How exciting. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us. And we're saying namaste and love to your deep and rich journey of your exploration of who you are as love. Namaste, dear lighted ones. Bye.